only the Hard Mode Gamers podcast, HMG podcast. Please make sure you subscribe, kick it with us. We're going to have a good time. And I'm here today with Mega Pala. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, my handle on Twitch and those places is Meganova now. But yeah, I've recently, a few months ago, started getting into streaming and doing YouTube videos, stuff like that. I've been a gamer since I was like 6 or something, playing on my mom's DOS machine. And yeah.
Wow, you said on your mom's DOS machine? That's crazy, man. Like my
Yeah,
first memories with gaming is like Super Nintendo and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get a console until I got my PlayStation 1 back in the day.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. So what was one of your favorite PlayStation 1 games? You know I'm a huge PlayStation fanboy, so
Uh,
I got to know.
on the PlayStation 1, it's hard to pick. There were lots of good ones. I think I gotta go with Medieval.
Wow, Medieval, that was a classic. That's a classic.
It is to this day. It still has my favorite soundtrack in any game.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't start paying attention to soundtracks in games until I started working for Hard Mode and doing reviews, and I was like, wait a second, like I have always liked the sound effects and the music, but it just never was something that came to my attention as like this is important. Like you should note this.
Well, I didn't think about it much back then either, but when I then replayed the game a couple of years ago, because I never managed to beat it back then, because there was like one item I couldn't figure out how to get, and I only figured that out later on.
What item was that? Do you remember?
It was the artifact to open up the gate thing in the forest. You know, the artifact that's in the safe in the mayor's house in the town.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
For some reason, I never went over and opened the safe, so I never got the artifact. So I was just stuck for years.
You're a good citizen. You never broke into the mayor's house.
Well, I did go in there. I just didn't take anything.
That's crazy. That's crazy. No, man. Like most people who know of me know that I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. That is one of my fondest memories of playing on like PlayStation 1, along with Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2. But like Metal Gear Solid is my game still. I still play Metal Gear Solid 1 like a couple times a year just because I can.
I never owned any of those games, but my best friend played them a lot, so I played them a bit when I visited him.
Yeah, nah, like I can tell you Metal Gear Solid's entire story like front to back with no issue. That is my game.
That's quite a bit of an undertaking considering how convoluted it gets.
It does get kind of wacky, but I think that's part of what makes it beautiful is that it gets out of control.
It is part of its charm, I will give it that.
Definitely part of its charm. So what are you playing nowadays?
Well, I mostly play stuff like League of Legends and World of Warcraft. I was actually streaming me doing a mount run earlier today. And I play a bit of Heroes of the Storm with some friends, and I also have gotten big into Sea of Thieves lately.
Oh, okay. I saw there was some backlash with Sea of Thieves for a little bit.
It's kind of funny because me and my friends that I'm playing it with, like, we enjoy playing it, but half the time while we're playing it, we're bashing it as well.
It's one of those games, huh?
Yeah,
like you're playing it, but you just can't figure out why. Like, why am I still playing this game?
Yeah, but it is one of those, well, make your own fun games, but it's also like, we would like there to be a bit more to it. But we still do enjoy it, we just wish there was more. It's a bit of a paradox, I guess.
There's nothing wrong with wishing for more.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, they have promised that they would add more over time, we just wish they had a bit more to begin with.
But then you fall into that
So
conundrum, like do we want to wait longer for video games, or do we want to get the game and like have it
it's
fixed while we're playing it?
it's the whole games as a service bullshit.
You don't think games as service is a good idea?
Well, I mean, on paper it can be a good idea. I just don't like how a lot of companies go about it.
Yeah, the way it's being applied.
Yeah, exactly. But
'Cause I definitely think
it
games.
feels like games are being put out, gutted, and then they add the things in later on that should have been there to begin with, instead of coming out with a complete game and then adding on to it.
I'm 100% behind that skepticism. Like, I definitely see and feel you and everybody else who feels that way. But then, like, there's a part of me that just stops and goes, like, these are still people on the other end making these games. And it's hard for me to believe that anybody who's so passionate about making games would be doing something destructive like that to their own product, you know?
Well, that's where I often blame the studio or the publisher. I
Even then,
often
though,
feel like the
they're still
publisher are
like,
pressuring
I
them
feel like you
into
have to
doing
have.
these things.
I feel like you have to have a certain amount of love for whatever it is that you're selling or working in order for you to be able to do what you do. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And also about Sea of Thieves again, like you can feel the passion that has gone into creating the world. Like the everything looks really crisp. Like I don't think I've ever seen a game with better water effects, for example. Like the water in this game is it. If I didn't know better, I would think it was just video from the real world. The water looks that good.
Damn, that
Uh,
sounds amazing, actually.
and like the fact that you have the musical instruments and you can get completely knockout drunk, and like there's a lot of fun stuff in there. Like they have a good framework. I will give them that.
So
And I think
what do you
that's
feel
the
like is bringing you back to this game constantly? I
well.
expected you to say Fortnite because everybody's on the Fortnite craze, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But like, what keeps bringing you back
I,
to Sea of Thieves?
it's to me, it's the theme. I've always loved piratey stuff. Like I'm a major fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I even cosplay as Jack Sparrow,
Okay,
and I've just always loved like the pirate aesthetic.
so that's what
So
keeps bringing you
I
back is
think
the
that
pirate
it's
aesthetics.
yeah, and I've never minded grindy gameplay if I like the aesthetic and the theme.
I guess I can feel you on
Like
that because that's how I feel with Dynasty Warriors. Like, I love the time period. I love
yeah.
the theme. I love the like. I play it and I can play it for hours, and I know that I'm literally doing the same thing over and over and over, and I
But
just
if it's
don't
fun
get
enough
bored.
to do, then it's fine.
Exactly, and like the setting makes it perfect, so it just makes it really really fun to play.
Exactly. I haven't played a Dynasty Warriors in ages. I did play a bit back in the day, but I haven't gotten a new console since my PlayStation 2. I've just been a PC gamer since. So that's why I haven't played any of the Dynasty Warriors games.
Oh man, so you're not missing anything with the latest version. Dynasty Warriors 9
No,
was not
so
good.
I've heard.
Dynasty Warriors 9 was not good at all. Dynasty
Yeah, I've
Warriors 8, however, was fantastic. So if you were to get yourself a PS4, that's definitely where I would say point your sights towards that game. Um,
yeah I've watched Jim Sterling's videos on Dynasty Warriors 9, and he's like a massive Dynasty Warriors fan, and he is not happy with it.
I am just like him. I was very disappointed by it. Do you feel like you're missing out on any games because you're a PC gamer?
A little bit. There are some games that I would like to play that I haven't gotten around to stuff. Well, I did see a couple months ago Bayonetta came out on Steam, I still haven't gotten around to play it. I think I'm considering streaming it at some point. But something like Bayonetta 2, and there's I can't remember anything right off the top of my head, but there are a few things. But I feel like I do get enough from playing on PC, so I'm not too bothered by it.
Well, I mean, even from my perspective, like sometimes I feel like PC gets games that I wish we got on PlayStation or on any console because I just see some of these games and I'm just like, wow, the character design or the world design is like incredible. I can't remember
Yeah,
the name of this MMO, but it was like, man, it came out a few years ago.
Black Desert Online.
Black Desert is also one. Yeah, that's not the one I was thinking of
Yeah.
specifically, but that's a great example. Like, I wish we got Black Desert
Terra?
on console, you know?
Terra?
No, not Terra. I want to say it was like Secret Wars or Secret something.
Secret World.
Secret World. Yes, that's the one where you could turn into like werewolves or something like that. Like it
Yeah, it's
has.
the one where you have to do like riddles and all kind of stuff, and there's a lot of like Lovecraftian stuff.
Yes, that one. Like that when that first came out, I remember I was working and I was just like, "Wow, this thing looks amazing! Like I can't wait to play this." And then I saw it was PC only, and I was like, "Geez, what
Uh,
just happened?"
yeah, I have considered trying it out. I've just never gotten around to it, but it does sound like really interesting.
So you're playing. You said Heroes of the Storm a little bit, some World of Warcraft, and
Yeah,
some League. Why
a
not
lot of
Fortnite?
World of Warcraft.
You say you love World of Warcraft?
Yeah, actually, going back to when I started gaming, Warcraft 2 was one of the first games I played. Back in, yeah, that's gonna be '97. I was around 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and I played that a whole lot. And I remember when Warcraft 3 came out, and I was like, "Oh my God, look at the 3D graphics!" And I, and I thought it looked amazing back then. Um,
So what's the difference between Warcraft and World of Warcraft? Are they the same or?
Well, it's the same story, it's the same characters and stuff, but the original Warcraft games were RTSs, where World of
Oh,
Warcraft is obviously an MMO.
yeah.
And
So
I didn't
I
get
would
to.
probably like Warcraft. I don't like World of Warcraft because like MMO. I like MMOs for like the first day that I'm playing them, but after
Yeah,
24 hours of gaming, like not even 24 hours, after like 10 hours of playing it, I'm just like, yeah, no, I can't do this any longer.
it is a big time commitment.
And
Like,
it's and the progression is so slow. I feel like because there's no
yeah.
major mainline story to follow, the progression just goes so slowly. It just
There is a mainline story.
there is one.
Yeah, they do a lot with having. Well, I mean, of course, a lot of the quests are like side stories, but they always have like, or back in original vanilla, most of it was just side stories, but each expansion always are very like story focused. That is like, okay, we're going to this new place, and it's because of this, and so you have to follow this story to find out what is going on, and so on and so on.
Okay.
But I I started playing it kind of late because when the game came out, I wasn't that old, and I didn't really have my own money, and my mom wouldn't pay for it. So I couldn't play it until I moved out for myself, which was very late in the second expansion, Wrath of the Lich King. Then I've been playing ever since. It's 8 years ago now,
Wow.
and I just checked
Literally,
my
wow.
yeah I just checked my playtime on my paladin, who has been my main ever since I started playing. I have 710 days of accumulated game time on my paladin alone.
Jesus. And that's your main, so you have other characters you play as well.
Yeah. I do have an add-on here that actually can show how much I've played overall. Let's see, what does it say? Account summary. Okay. Oh, I've played for a collective 777 days.
Wow, and 710 whereas one character. So you really put in time and energy in that. I think the longest game I
Yeah.
ever played was like Persona 4. I think I put in like 90 or 100 hours into that game or something like that. I mean, not counting Metal
Yeah.
Gear Solid, because Metal Gear, like, there's no way to measure how many hours you've put in, but I finished the game like a couple dozen times.
Yeah, and that's not exactly a short game
Yeah.
either. But yeah, I mean, I just really love like the lore. I love the look of the game, even though it's an old game and you can feel that it's kind of old. The way it's stylized make it look kind of timeless still, and also that they do continually do graphical updates on the game.
I know I've seen the like the commercials, and the commercials always oversell the crap out of that game because it's like
Uh,
they look stunning. I mean, it just looks incredible, and then
yeah,
you
those
play
are their
it.
cutscene graphics that they're using for the commercials.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
their cutscenes are fucking stellar. Like they are absolutely amazing. The in-game graphics, I mean, they look good, but not that good. So
I
yeah,
dig it. All right, so let's get into some video game news real quick for the week, right? So,
yeah.
PUBG, are you familiar with Player Unknown Battlegrounds?
I have heard the name. I haven't tried it yet.
You're not into shooters much, are you?
No, I'm mostly into RPGs.
Ah, okay, okay. That makes a lot of sense. That definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to play well, real quick on PUBG, so the developers plan to disable keyboard and mouse support for consoles cuz they feel like it gives too much of an advantage. Now I know you don't know too much about like shooters, but do you ever feel like having played a shooter on PC and console, there's a big
Uh,
difference?
well, I have done both. Again, back when I was younger on the PlayStation, I would play quite a bit of Duke Nukem 3D,
Okay.
and back then I would also play Doom on the PC. So I've had experience with both, and I was never very comfortable with playing shooters with a controller. I always just felt it was better with a mouse and keyboard, and I'm pretty sure it is like general consensus that mouse and keyboard does give an advantage. Like I remember a couple years back, I think Microsoft wanted to do some cross-play with some shooters between both PC and Xbox, and they had to disable it because the PC guys were just wiping the floor with the console guys. They just couldn't keep up.
Oh man, I didn't realize it was that much of an advantage. I've
Yeah,
like every time I've tried to play, maybe I'm just so used to consoles, but every time I've tried to play, it just becomes a mess.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, it depends on what you're used to, which you're gonna be the more comfortable with. But if you're taking a pro player who is used to mouse and keyboard, and a pro player who uses a controller, the one with the mouse and keyboard will win because the the hardware is just an advantage in itself comparatively.
And that's because you can move the cursor directly to where you need to be, right?
Yeah, it's just a mouse is just much more precise than a stick. That's the simple fact of it.
Got it. Got it. All right, so let's dive into some more PC console crossover stuff. We got Divinity Original Sin 2 coming to PS4 and Xbox One. This was originally a PC exclusive title from Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
Did you see this game or give it a shot?
I haven't tried it myself, but I have watched a stream of about 4 hours of it, I think.
What did you think?
And I mean, it looks pretty good. I do want to try it at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
This looks like the
That's
type of game that I would play, but I'm not
yeah.
sure. Like, is it an MMO or is it like?
No, it's just it is an RPG that is. I think you can be up to 4 players together. So it is like a regular RPG with like just a through line story and stuff, but it's like uh it's kind of like Skyrim but in third person. And I know that kind of maybe sounds stupid, but it's like there's a lot of ways you can go about like quests in that game. Even if you kill a quest giver, like there's someone who was actually important to the quest you were on, there will often be other ways that you can still complete the quest.
Wow, that
And
sounds
also,
dope. And then I
also
was looking into it a little further, and you're right. It
yeah,
offers split screen co-op for local split screen,
yeah,
or 4 player online co-op. So
yep.
that's actually pretty dope. So I think this might be one of those games. See, this is one of those games that if I would have known about it sooner, I would have been jealous that it was on PC and not on console.
Ah, yeah.
Like this is a good example. Like it's not even stuff that's like big franchises. It's the little things that I'll never know if I would have loved. You know.
Yeah, exactly, same. There's a lot of those hidden gems around the place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's dive into one more thing and then we'll get into our rapid fire where I got a couple of trivia questions for you built up.
Sure.
All right. All right. I know you're familiar with Street Fighter.
I mean, I've heard about it. I don't think I've ever actually played a Street Fighter game.
What? That is incredible.
I was always more into Tekken.
I am a Tekken man myself. Who do you play?
Who do I play? I actually mostly play Kazuya.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm a really big fan of Tekken. I can main Steve Fox, I can main Jin, I can main Hwarang, I can main
Yeah,
Lee. So I've got a pretty solid lineup.
yeah. I played a shit ton of Tekken 2 back in the day, and my best friend he owned Tekken 3, and so we played that a lot together. I never really played Tekken 4, but I heard that I wasn't missing much. And then I got Tekken 5, and I played that like a whole bunch.
Yeah. Tekken 5 is probably still my favorite one.
Yeah, it's really fucking good.
Definitely, definitely one of the best fighting games of all time in my opinion. Tekken 5, I have some crazy memories playing Tekken 5 in both the arcade and at home, and it's just like
Yeah,
that was a solid game.
absolutely.
That was a very solid game. So going on to Street Fighter, uh, apparently somebody thought it'd be a great idea to make a Street Fighter board game. So they're converting a fighting game into a board game. Tell me your thoughts on
That
that before I go into how it actually works.
that sounds very interesting. I'm very intrigued to find out how the fuck that's gonna work. I mean, it sounds like a really interesting and funny idea. I just have no clue how they're gonna make it into a board game.
Well, let me tell you, these are the ideas so far. All right, so according to the Kickstarter page, the game is gonna have essentially little mini pieces that look like characters from Street Fighter. So we've got Ryu, Chun Li,
Yeah.
Ken, Vega, a couple of the other characters, you know, um, and it's gonna be a combination of cards and dice with variable maps with destructible 3D terrain.
Aha.
Features a versus mode, free for all, team games, and a boss mode, all for
Interesting.
$140.
Huh.
Yeah,
I mean, I would be very interested to see how it's actually gonna play out.
I know.
It,
I want one. I'm tempted to order it, you know, because it's
yeah,
just
like it sounds really interesting.
it sounds amazing. It's already collected. It had a goal of 400,000 to raise on Kickstarter. It's already
Yeah.
collected 626,000, and it still has 28 days to go.
I mean, that's how it is with brand recognition, right?
That's amazing.
I still remember I'm also a lot into like all the like weeby shit, and I was I don't know how much you know about Necopara.
What is that?
It's a visual novel about cat girls.
Interesting.
It's one of those sex visual novels where you get to fuck the cat girls.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those
Um,
and they made a game of it?
that's no, they made an anime out of it.
Interesting.
So what happened was they set up a Kickstarter and they were like, okay, we just need $100,000 and then we can make it. But they added some stretch goals, of course, and it's like, well, if you give more money, the episode will be longer. They ended up raising $1 million.
$1 million?
Yep.
That is ridiculous.
Yep, and it's and as I said back then, it was like never underestimate the power of owners.
That is amazing. That is incredible. I can't believe they raised $1 million.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
this Street Fighter
it's
board game is
crazy.
definitely on track to raise 1 million or more. Because, like I said, it's at 626
If
at the
if you
time
made
that
that in
was
like
written,
3 days,
and it has 28 days left to go.
yeah, it's like in what 2 or 3 days, or how long was did it start with?
Yeah, so essentially it's been 2 days because they started 2 days
Oh,
ago.
holy, yeah, yeah. They could very well end up raising a couple of $1 million on that one.
That's
Damn.
amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
All right, so
But
let's jump into some trivia real quick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask you 5 questions to see how much of a hard mode gamer you really are.
oh dear.
These questions are based on popularity of video games throughout the industry and throughout the timeline of video games. Are you ready for
Aha.
question number 1?
Sure.
All right. Question number 1. What is the best-selling video game console of all time?
It's a PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2. You
Yep.
got it. Why did you come to that conclusion? I definitely thought it was going to be the Nintendo DS.
No, I knew it because I've looked it up several times.
Wow.
Because back when the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One came out, I made a habit of like checking up on who was winning the race, and I always ended up on the Wikipedia page over like the best-selling consoles of all time. And PlayStation 2 was always at the top,
That's
with
incredible.
with the DS just behind it.
Ah, man. I wonder if any console's ever going to knock that down. I guess we'll find out one day.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. What is it, like 155 million copy units? I think it is.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, it's
Especially for its
fucking-
time. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right. So, question number 2. Which came first? Mortal Kombat the game or Mortal Kombat the movie?
The game.
Hey, you got it right.
Yep.
Yep, the movie was based on the game, loosely based on the game, and I mean,
Very
personally,
loosely.
I think it was a great. I think it was a great movie. Personally, I know a lot of people hated it, but I thought it was a great movie.
I mean, I don't mind it. I like me some cheesy fun, and that's basically what it is.
Exactly, it was like campy. It was cool, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and I can appreciate that. Like,
Definitely.
It's the same with like Batman and Robin. I don't hate that movie. I just think it's fun, even though a lot of people really hate it.
I also thought Batman and Robin was a good movie, so I think that's just how I roll.
I wouldn't say it's a good movie, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean,
Yeah.
what more could I ask for? If it was fun, it was good as far as I'm concerned. All right, so next question. This one will be an easy one for you, I think. Could you select your character in the original Doom?
No, it was just the Doom guy.
The Doom guy. That's it. That's all you could play as was the Doom guy.
Yep. Oh, yep. And as I said, I played that a shit ton back in the day. And
Like what was your best score you ever got in Doom?
I never looked at scores. Like I was like 7 or 8 when I played it, so I never really kept track of that.
You just knew you were finishing the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
I dig it. All right. This one I think might get you stumped, but we're gonna go for it.
Okay, let's see.
What does Pokemon stand for?
Pocket Monster.
That was easy. Pocket Monster, the original name for Pokemon. Do you play any Pokemon game? Did you ever get into Pokemon?
Yeah, I did play a lot of Gold back in the day. I almost completed it, but then my save decided to delete itself, and I was sad. And I collected like 245 of them. It was so close, and then it just fucked up.
And it's just corrupted. That sucks. It's crazy because
Yeah.
that was my favorite part of the series as well. Was Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I had Crystal, and I loved it was just amazing because it was the one where you could go back and play the Kanto region as well. And I don't understand why
exactly.
they don't allow us to do that.
No, I don't understand either. Like, there's so much nostalgia they can tap into with those areas, and they can update it with the new games, like new events happening and stuff like that. There's
Exactly.
plenty of things they could do.
It would be so dope. Like, I don't know. I hope they do it with the Nintendo Switch. That's what's going to push me to finally purchase a Nintendo Switch. Like, I've done a couple Switch reviews using the Hard Mode Gamer Switch, but I'm not sold on it yet. But if they drop that mainline Pokemon game for Nintendo Switch, oh, man. I'm in there.
That would be really cool, yeah.
I'm in there. 100% in there.
Yeah, have it like have all the regions.
That would be nuts. Like,
Just have a mega Pokemon game.
just have the whole world of Pokemon.
Exactly.
Oh, my Lord. That would be insane.
That would be so crazy.
Like, I would play it forever and leave it and have some MMO components in it too, where you can have it online whenever you want. That would be
Yeah.
insane. Be insane.
Well, I do remember some people were trying to make like an unofficial Pokemon MMO at some point, and don't know what became of that.
I think it got scrapped by Nintendo. They put a stop to it.
Yeah, probably. They tend to do that.
Yeah, they're quick on it. They're quick on it.
Yeah.
And speaking of Nintendo, final question.
Yeah.
What was Mario's name in the original Donkey Kong?
Jumpman.
Jumpman, you, my friend, are good at this. Now, you went 5 for 5, bro. You are a hard mode gamer for sure.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, indeed.
I know my shit.
That's crazy. That is so funny that you got that in like no problem. I'm gonna have to make these questions tougher. All right. So what are you getting into next?
I'm not sure right now. Right now, I'm still just doing a lot of the games I was mentioning before, like WoW, League, HOTS, and Sea of Thieves. I'm not sure what's gonna be up next. I'm thinking I want to try streaming some more pirate games. Like
Okay.
I want to get, I want to go back to playing something like Monkey Island.
Okay.
I've only played the first 2 games in that series. I played them back in the day with my ex-girlfriend because she was also a lot into pirates and stuff. And I haven't gotten around to getting on with that. And I saw recently Steam actually got the 3rd game, which makes it a lot easier because otherwise I would have had to use the Scum VM, which is like this emulator thing that lets you play the old LucasArts games.
Okay.
But it was a bit of a hassle to get to work. So now that Steam has it, it should hopefully work properly now.
I can't imagine why it wouldn't at this point.
Well, Steam has had a problem of like getting old games, but they didn't optimize them properly, so they wouldn't actually work.
Oh,
So,
okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
but I did buy it, so it was a bit of a gamble, but we'll see.
All right, dope. Well, I had a blast talking to you, Nick. Tell the people where they can find you, where they can play with you, and any final words you'd like.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like if you ever need a guest again and you don't know who else, feel free to invite me again.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm on Twitch as Meganova Shizzle, and I have the same name on my YouTube. I'm also on Twitter. Don't do much on Twitter yet, but I want to get on that. I also have my own Discord. And I also have a Facebook that's also named Meganova Shizzle.
Nice. You got it all locked down.
Yeah, pretty much. And on my YouTube, it's mostly me doing videos where I lie in my bed and talk about stuff that I've watched. And yeah, and on my Twitch, I just play whatever I feel like at the moment. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It was definitely something I would do again.
Awesome, man. I had a great time talking to you too, brother. So thank you for coming on the Hard Mode Gamers podcast. This was a blast. Again, my name is Vega. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to all of our channels. Check us out at hardmodegamers.com. Keep up with the Lucky Gamer recap and let us know what you think in the comments below. It's great talking to you guys. Peace out, Nick. Have a great night.
Yeah. See you, dude.